Alright guys, as fortune would have it, I missed this video by about 2 hours this morning. I had my upload from last night ready to go this morning, and I did not know that they were going to shut down Concord completely as my video was going live. So, ironically, there was this tweet from Concord this morning, very weird timing, that said, "Attention free gunners, we will be conducting routine maintenance later today at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Servers will be offline for approximately 1 hour. 2 hours later or less, they announced that they'd be pulling the game offline completely, so pretty ironic timing. So of course we have this article from that Park Place talking about how essentially the game is dead. They have offered full refunds, they are shutting the game down after less than 2 weeks. I believe on September 6th, when it's scheduled to shut down, that should be, I think, exactly 2 weeks. So, absolutely abysmal, embarrassing mess of a game. And everybody is coping about what the actual root cause of the shutdown was. Some people are saying it's the $40 price tag. Some people are saying it's the hero shooter genre being oversaturated. It couldn't possibly be because of the fact that these characters were these woke inserts, these self-inserts, these DEI driven characters that were designed to appeal to the imaginary modern audience that doesn't exist. I mean, you're going to see in a second, these journalists, these media experts, these people who think that they know everything about video games are in complete denial about what actually caused this game to fail. But we've seen it for months. We've seen people ridiculing it, leading up to the release of the game. The miserable numbers in the beta, the fact that, for the last few days, they've had less than 100 people playing it on Steam. Nobody believes that they sold 25,000 copies of this game, as they're reporting, which is still an abysmal amount of money for a game that cost them a couple $100 million. After 8 years of development, this is a AAA title from Sony. There's no reason that there should be less than, at this point right now, maybe 10,000 people playing it, if not more. This kind of game, this kind of development time and process and money put into it, there's no excuse for the failure of this game. And of course, a lot of people are saying it's the evil executives, it's the live service, it's not the developers, don't blame them. Okay, fine. So we'll take a lot of the blame off the developers and say it's the agenda that was given and the initiative to make it a live service game by the executives and all that, fine. The developers still could have made a better game. I'm sorry. They could have made better looking characters. Whoever did the designs of these characters could have done a better job, as we've shown in the past. But Stuttering Craig has been on it when it comes to his insider information in terms of sales numbers. He has been talking about pre-order numbers for Assassin's Creed Shadows, for Star Wars Outlaws, and today he tweeted out that regarding Concord, he had an insider who told him in June, July, and August that Concord had only had 231 pre-orders company-wide. 91 of them were canceled before the shutdown of the game. So they sold 140 copies of Concord in over 900 stores. He says, "I want to reiterate, that is roughly 1 copy for every 6 stores." And you've seen people rushing out and buying copies of the game today because they want to have that collector's edition, paperweight essentially, which is all it's good for. Maybe a coaster or something at this point. Grum says, "DEI isn't the only reason why Concord failed, but pretending it didn't have a huge impact is sticking your head in the sand. Also, blaming it, quote, generic characters, yeah, they were generic because of playing it too safe with DEI. Again, this is the point that I think we need to hammer home. I said this last night, and I'll say it again. Why are the characters ugly? It's one thing if they're all different ethnicities and not traditionally white heterosexual men. Why are they all fat and generic and boring and ugly looking? That's the DEI side of this. Overwatch, etc. is very woke, but they didn't let their characters suffer for it in design or cuteness or even sex appeal. Again, very valid point. Veridark says the average yearly pay for a developer at Sony in the United States is around $101,000, which is 8% higher than the national average. So everybody's saying, blame the executives, don't blame the developers. They slaved away for 8 years. They slaved away for 8 years, on average making $800,000 over the course of those 8 years. More money than I made in that course of time. Again, no hate on these guys. They're doing a job that I can't do, so kudos to them. But if you're going to make $800,000 across 8 years, you're going to be slightly responsible for some of the blame. You just have to take your fair share. OTC Quack, I believe just a gamer account on Twitter, says Concord had no day one launch server issues, no pay-to-win microtransactions, no battle pass, a planned weekly story update, 16 playable characters, PS5 PC crossplay, and a $40 day one price. If it had things that we wish other games would launch with day one and it still failed, it wasn't the $40 fault. And I 100% agree with this. Look, I don't spend full price on games very often. My live streams don't get a whole ton of viewers, so I don't plan on spending $70, $80, $90 on a game to live stream because I'm never going to recoup my cost from the live stream itself. That being said, I spent the full price on Black Myth Wukong knowing the game would be fantastic, and I was not disappointed one bit. So now we have people on the inside of the Access Media here, guys like this Kevin Diaz, who I believe is over at IGN, saying, I promise you, Concord was much better than you all made it out to be. Actually playing the game, I can assure you. Nathan Grayson of Gamergate fame says Concord did not fail because of diversity or because live service games are a dead end. Instead, publishers are trying to use live service to paper over the unsustainability of their development practices. You can't solve unsustainability with more unsustainability. Whatever, Nathan. Christopher Dring over at GameIndustry.biz says, Dear fanboys, when a game on the console you don't own doesn't do very well, whether it's Concord or Hellblade or NES World Championships, it's not a win for you. Nobody won. Man's full of crap. We did win because we spoke with our wallets, we spoke with our actual time and money and energy and said, we don't want this garbage, make something better. So they pulled the game, and now it's probably going to be free to play when they bring it back, and there's no way after charging $40, $60 a piece, depending on the edition that you bought, they were going to make this game free to play without pulling it for a while and issuing all the refunds, which again, to Sony's credit, was the right decision to make. Veridark points out that Jason Schreier, who has basically blocked everybody on Twitter, says here that every time a live service game with no hook or strong word of mouth fails to penetrate an oversaturated market, the most annoying people on the planet will be there to blame diversity. And now we're seeing the same tactic that the media has used with the failure of Star Wars: The Acolyte, basically saying, oh, this is just bringing out the worst kind of people on the planet. These people are so terrible. Learning the Law pointing out that Jason Schreier back in 2021 had an issue with the fact that a game studio was made up of a bunch of white guys. It's pretty wild that in 2021, a new game studio still looks like this, and then shares a picture of the team. Apparently it's evil or bad or outdated to have white men making video games. I don't know. Call me crazy. Vera also has Khalif Adams, Mr. Queef Adams, saying, I just absolutely hate that Chuds will take this as a win and it'll embolden them to be even worse. I hate it so much. Well, Khalif, suck it. Deal with it, buddy. So, of course, I found this one from Ash Parrish, and I'm like, I saw this, so now you have to as well. Here's Ash from The Verge saying, how many smaller projects were killed in its cradle to throw money at this live shooter BS that didn't last longer than my last effing period? Ash, that's disgusting. We don't talk about those things online in polite society. Maybe this is why nobody likes you, but if you remember Ash Parrish, this is the really interesting thing about this woman. Here she is attacking people who are critical of, again, Concord, and who are celebrating essentially its demise. She's the same person who defended Sweet Baby Inc. months ago, when this all kicked off back in March. She's the same person who had said that, basically joked about or said that it was a sad thing that President Trump's life was not ended during the attempt a few months ago. Same person who has admitted to excluding the narrative of Sweet Baby Inc.'s cancellation, campaign in order to push her narrative. She's also said and done many, many horrible things, like how I believe she says Japanese people are violently racist, going back to discussing the Assassin's Creed Shadows, fiasco. And here we have a video that was brought to my attention by Old Man Grim, I believe it was earlier today, or it might have been Blu-ray. Sorry, guys, whichever one of you it was, let me know in the comments. Where essentially you have this video with Ash Parrish, Jayan Lopez from Black Girl Gamers, and Kim Belair, CEO of Sweet Baby Inc., all sitting down 2 weeks ago for a conversation about the toxic side of gaming culture in regards to Gamergate. The funniest thing is, lots of us have left comments. You can see that the downvotes are massively outweighing the upvotes. They have deleted or hidden every person's comment that has left a comment. I shit you not. This is how scared they are of people actually seeing the truth. But luckily, Based Player here on Twitter has a 1-minute clip we're going to watch before we wrap up here. This is just mind-blowing when you listen to Ash Parrish, again, this woman from The Verge, Sweet Baby Inc. defender. Again, this woman who has said really terrible things about Japanese people, white people, you name it. The way she thinks of herself. Get a load of this.
Around companies and similar to us. So there's a blurred line between the content creators and journalists. Ashley, how can gamers discern the difference when it comes to consuming myths or disinformation around people and companies when it comes to Gamergate? How can people discern the two?
So what you want to do is you always want to consider your source. You can get your opinions, you can get your hot takes, you can get your video game reviews from wherever you want, I don't care. But when you are consuming news, like what is happening in the gaming world, consider your source and always consider reliable sources. Your reliable sources are going to be like your big, tentpole legacy media kind of places. I work for The Verge, which is a vertical of Vox Media. There's Polygon, there's IGN, there's GameSpot, there's all these different legacy video game websites that have been around for a very long time that have a vested interest in making sure that the things that they share with you, the things that they write, are up to journalistic standards.
So that's where she has her opinion, forming from. She believes that these legacy outlets are the guardians of journalistic integrity, despite the fact that we've seen the most unhinged, lunatic behavior from people like Alyssa Mercante, from Ash Parrish, from all the people who have gone after Black Myth Wukong and Stellar Blade, who have attacked gamers, who have attacked individuals like Smash JT and contacted his wife. And yet, Ash Parrish, sitting here with these absolutely horrible women, has to say, we're the bastions of truth and we have our journalistic integrity and you have to just trust us. Don't listen to YouTubers and don't listen to these people. And now fast forward 2 weeks later, and here we have these same journalists freaking out about a game that they've tried so hard to defend, flopping because gamers said no. I'm gonna leave it right there, guys. Let me know what you think about all this and I will catch you on the next one. All right, and if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for being here. I do have 2 channels, Minimal Effort Podcast, as well as my gaming channel. I do have a Twitch and Kick for my gaming channel. We do live streams over there occasionally, maybe once a week. And then if you are in the market for a new PC, make sure to check out Meta PCs. Click the link I have down below. Use code TBO at checkout for a special discount. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.